viewers, and welcome to part 2 of our Drive Club Gamescom coverage, and this is part 1 of a 2-part interview with the developers here, having a chat, telling us some ins and outs on the game. So let's see what they had to say.
One of the first things I want to talk about is the handling. A lot of people talk about Drive Club, is it arcade, is it simulation, and I think there's a lot of confusion over what makes Drive Club stand out and what makes it different. One of the things that we started to do with Drive Club early on is we built it from the ground up with a simulation background almost, whereby we were able to build the cars in absolute detail, and we wanted to make sure that the physics were as real as possible. We knew that wasn't the end goal, but that was our starting point. We wanted to make sure that we could have the cars drive as realistic as possible, and then we wanted to tone that back and find that sweet spot between the arcade sort of pick up and play fun factor, but keep those simulation elements so it is deep. So we do want people to be able to pick it up and have fun immediately. And when you start having the hot hatches, the front wheel drive, the 4-wheel drive cars, etc., they'll be nice and easy to pick up. But then the hardcore gamers who obviously want to shave off those milliseconds, these cars do have the depth, and if you've got the skill and the throttle control, trail braking into corners, all of those elements from the real world pay off inside the game and allow you to really improve your lap times and be the best in the world.
So at the same time, the thing that excites me, because I come from a background of playing arcade racing games, so I've never had to use the brake button before and I don't really know the nuances and technicalities of racing lines and the racecraft and the art of taking those corners. But that doesn't matter. I can still join a club with Rush, who is a skilled driver, drives cars like this for real, very, very accomplished, very well. We can still enter into the same race, and 9 times out of 10 Rush is going to beat me. There's no doubt about that. But if he gets away from me, or if I fall behind, or if I make a mistake, it doesn't matter. I can still play. So every section of every track there's a face-off challenge, so I can focus on those face-off challenges, playing against my friends, people that have been through that section of the track recently, focus on beating their time or taking that corner well, drifting as best I can, finishing as quickly as I can, and it'll contribute to the success of our joint club together. So in terms of the handling, whether you come from an arcade background like I do, or you come from a more simulation, racing game, or you drive these cars for real, you can still play together and enjoy it and get a lot out of that experience.
Following what Jamie's saying, you can drive in grip, take the perfect racing lines and aim for the times, but if you don't have that skill and you're a little bit clumsy on the throttle or whatever, you can throw it around the corners, you can hold drifts, and you're being rewarded for doing that as well. I mean, in racing games, it's all about being first, and that's still a big part of Drive Club. Crossing the finish line first is a big deal, but if you're last in the race, you can win in other ways. There are different ways to contribute to your personal fame inside the game, or even as part of your club, because we want to make sure that you're earning rewards together. So whenever you're playing either the solo game or online with your friends, etc., you can be participating as part of a club, earning rewards, unlocking cars together, and sharing those as a group. And that really kind of allows people who aren't necessarily come from a hardcore racing background feel like they can compete on the same level. So yeah, with the audio, we wanted to take the extra care and attention to every single one. We get every car inside the game. We mic them up with 17 directional mics across the vehicle, inside and out. We take them down to a local test track, Myra in the UK. We put them on the dyno, and we do sweeps through every single gear. So basically we capture the car in its entirety from the audio perspective, and that then allows us to try and recreate the car, the real world car, inside the game as closely as possible. So yeah, we wanted to capture all the little details of each individual car and kind of give them the personality. So you could hopefully fire at the game, close your eyes, pick a car, and you'll be able to know what it is just from the startup of the engine, or just sweeping for that first gear in neutral. We want to make sure that every car felt special and individual. It's just all part of the experience. Whether you're playing from the external camera or part of the cockpit experience, we just want to replicate the thrill, the raw sort of energy that cars kind of, get across when you're inside, because it's so difficult to kind of convey how loud and how powerful some of these cars are, and part of the audio experience is key for us to try and get that through inside the game. Yeah, with Drive Club, we wanted players to be able to play either with the DualShock 4 or a wheel. And so when we've been developing the handling, we've always made sure that it's always worked on wheel, always worked on pad. We wanted to try and give an equal experience. Obviously, with the wheel, you've got the extra little bit of control and feel from the force feedback, but you'll never be disadvantaged with a pad. In terms of wheel compatibility, we haven't announced which wheels are compatible yet, but there will be PlayStation 4 wheels available at launch compatible with Drive Club.
So that was part 1 then, some insightful bits and pieces, and part 2 will follow as well. So check that out on the channel, as well as a few 1080p videos all coming in the next few days.